what is your news? Now, depending on what your story is, this can work for virtually all events, but you just have to give it a bit of a twist. So let's say you've got a new managing director, putting out XYZ company has just employed a new managing director or new member of staff or whoever. People don't really want to, they're not really interested in that. And depending on the publication or the TV show or radio show you're going after, it's not really going to be appealing enough. So you need to make your story unique, and maybe your maybe your new employee is, for example, let's say you're running a fitness website and your new employee is competed in the Olympics or was a competitor or something like that. It's got a little bit of a twist. I haven't gone down these in order, but in number 3, tailor the story for the readers, viewers, listeners. By that, if you've got a story on, pensions, for example, and you're targeting pensioners, sending that to a surfing magazine is just not going to make sense. Even though you want the exposure, and I'm sure some surfers are more mature and are looking at pensions, but you have to ensure that the story fits in with not only the subject matter of the publication, but of the target audience. So in England, for example, we've got some newspapers called the Red Tops, and this group of newspapers, that the news stories are sometimes less serious. For example, there might be not this extreme, but my son is a fish finger type stories. Obviously, that's quite ridiculous. But on the other end of the market, you've got the more serious business type clients. So they're both newspapers, both generic stories in them, but the wording, the ambience of the story are slightly different. So you need to, when you're thinking about it, you need to read the publication you'll be going for, look at the TV shows you're going for, and then try and mould your story into that. If you can tie it in with current events, then all the better, because the newspaper is going to be running stories on, for example, we've got the Olympics or whatever's happening at the moment, and if you can tie your business story in with that, then great. And I've done a couple of examples here. So first of all, local bookshops having a sale. Who cares? Basically, that's what you've got to think these journalists are looking at. Or a newspaper. Why would a newspaper reader care about that? Well, they probably wouldn't unless they want to get some cheap books. And the second headline I've put Book Olympics 2012. Now, some of you might think, well, who would care about that? And you might be right. But what it might do is just make someone second look at that and think, well, what are they talking about, Book Olympics? And in here, I've just made up this bookstore. Instead of just having a sale, they've got some competitions going on, like speed reading and word search, and some events and the customers can take place to mirror the Olympics. So it's something you can. It's having the same story but a little bit different. Now, here's one of the things that I did. One of the really successful ones I did, and I was going to sell myself on eBay. I'd seen a girl who'd sold her virginity, so that sort of inspired me. Not that I was going to sell my virginity. For one, who'd want to buy it? But two, it just didn't. It wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking to get a job. So I sort of did a twist on that. It was a recession, and managed to get some great coverage in the newspapers with that. Here's another example that I've seen, and if you're looking in the papers at the moment, just generic. Once you see the power of or what content the newspapers, magazines, websites are generating, you will see more occurrences of this happening. For example, this lady, you must have heard. I don't know what it's like overseas, but in the UK, we've got this new book called 50 Shades of Grey by it was an unknown author before. It's been a sensation. She's made millions of pounds. All the women up and down the country are reading it. It's gone crazy. Fantastic. Well, this woman in somewhere up north, she's started writing her own version, but they've called it 50 Shades of Chav. So she's taken the sort of the excitement about the 50 Shades of Grey. She's done her own twist on it. She's got that submitted, and she's appearing in the Daily Mail, which is quite a big paper. Now, if this woman had, and she hasn't, but if she had started selling this on Kindle or on iBooks, do you think that she could have got more sales, more visitors, or she had a website? She might have built up a list of people who are interested in her book, which she could then market other things to. This is the power of free advertising. She wasn't paid for this story, but this is what I'm talking about. It's a great example of just twisting what's happening in real life and putting your own slant on it.